What's up, guys? As the title says, I am changing my turbo setup, and let me explain why. Well, I'm mainly changing the exhaust manifold, and the reason why is I don't like the way it sounds. And I know I just finished doing the whole setup and I spent a lot of money on it, but it's not the deep low 1JZ tone that I thought I would get from it. If anything, it sounds really high pitched and it almost sounds like a built SR, and that's not what I'm trying to go for. So the setup that I'm going to be doing now is a stock 1JZ VVTi manifold. So the stock manifold with a Upfab up pipe. And I'll show you later what that is, but essentially I'm going to be using just that piece, but the same turbo. Same turbo, the same 20G TD06. So the only major components that are changing are the manifold and the piping for it. I'm not going to have my wastegate vented atmosphere this time. It's going to be redirected into the exhaust. So this is the up pipe. This allows you to run a bigger turbo. It's essentially like the poor man's top mount manifold. This bolts onto your stock manifold, and then down here it routes the wastegate, and up here it allows you to run. You can order this with either V-band or T3 and T4 flanges, but I chose a V-band because we're gonna get rid of this either way and run the triangle TD06 flange. So the idea is that I still get to run a stock manifold, because from what I've been listening to online, I cannot find a manifold that gives me that low deep 1J sound the stock manifold gives you. So that's why I'm pretty much kind of downgrading, but not really. The 6 boost manifold does not sound terrible, it just doesn't sound the way I want it to. So I'm dropping this guy off with Jason. Right now it's got no fenders, it's got no bumper because I'm getting them repaired. But since this manifold didn't give me the sound that I want to, it's got to go. And like I said, the turbo will be the same. It might be moved over to a different position. I won't know until I get the manifold put on and the up pipe put on. The tank was almost empty, so I put in about 2 gallons because I didn't want to take it to him with a completely empty tank. But now we're ready to go. We made it to Apexy, but I forgot my race ramps. But thankfully I had some wood in the car that I helped put underneath the wheels because I started to get stuck on the trailer right around here.
Terrible.
Shake my head.
Shake my head.
Funny enough, we had the same kit, the 60 style kit from Shine Auto. He still has it. I have my Works 9 kit now, but he's missing all of his arrows, so I wonder what he's gonna do next. This manifold setup is one of 3 major things that I gotta do before RAF. It's probably the easiest one. The only thing I need to do with it really is just drop it off to Jason, and he's gonna take care of the fab work. I'm not a fabricator, so that's why I had to keep coming to Jason. But after that, we have Aero, which I dropped off with Moonlight Runners. They're repairing my front bumper, my fenders, and they already repaired my rear bumper. So once I get that back, it's just a matter of sanding that down, prepping it, and painting it, and getting some of my vinyl put on again because I had to remove it in order to repair the damage that I made. And then number 3 is the wheels. I sent out my wheels to get rebuilt at VR before we left for Japan, but I don't know if they're gonna make it in time. But if not, I still have these to run on. These fit my fenders. I have a lot of wheels, but not all of them are built to my fenders, so they're not built to spec for this car. But I can use spacers to make it work. I don't like using spacers because I've seen many of them fail, even quality ones. They're always stripping the studs off of them, and yeah, your fenders get fucked, your rears get fucked, your whole car gets fucked. So I don't like running spacers. So straight to the rotor, that's the way I like it. And yeah, hopefully they get done in time. They're getting chromed. I won't show it to you guys until they get done because I don't know if they'll make it in time, but that's the plan for now. Me and Jason always joked around about how small this thing looks, and I had the idea of maybe getting a blanket for the exhaust housing just to make it look bigger, and in Japan I managed to find one on Yahoo Auctions, and it's a gritty one. Now it looks bigger. It didn't come with any hardware or any springs or metal zip ties to hold it down, so I gotta figure out how to keep this thing down. But like I said earlier, I don't have a problem with how this manifold performs. It's just, it doesn't sound the way I want it to sound, and that's honestly the biggest reason why. That's the only reason why I'm doing this whole manifold swap. So this is a stock manifold, and let me show you how the Upfab works. You bolt this right here, your wastegate. They throw in a screamer pipe for your wastegate. Actually, I need two hands for this. This guy bolts up like so. Your wastegate will go down here. Depending on how you want to route your wastegate exhaust, you can either shoot it down, or for me, in my case, I'm going to reroute it to the exhaust because I don't want it to open up in this area. I don't want a cop to open up my hood one day and he asks, why is that shooting down to the ground? It's going out to the exhaust.
Nice.
Same thing with the 6-boost manifold. I couldn't find any examples of line of like sound clips. That's why I have a couple of clips with how my exhaust with my turbo sound, because I want people who are maybe looking to do the same kind of manifold swap or turbo setup to get options and have an idea of what it would sound like. But I'm hoping that with this and this, it gets me that low, deep 1J sound that I'm looking for. The only thing I'm hoping that this does is allow me to run a bigger turbo up top, but still give me the same stock manifold sound. But if this doesn't work out, if this doesn't give me the sound that I'm looking for, I think I'm just gonna take the L and just stick with this, because I'm not spending any more on this, on my turbo setup. One thing I forgot to note, I think I'm gonna have the same problem as what I had before, which is my turbo sitting up a little bit too tall because of that triangle manifold that needed to be welded on. So this guy, this V-band is gonna have to go and get cut off. That way the turbo can sit a little bit lower. But we won't know until this gets put on. But that's just my idea. Hopefully we don't have to take off too much. All right, so we moved it into the workspace, and now we're gonna let Jason do his thing. Hopefully it gets done soon, because this will have to get retuned. I'm hoping I can be there for the dyno day, because today is Saturday. I don't think this should take him a long time, but I'll ask to see if he can schedule it for a Saturday. That way I can show you guys the retuning process. So this was a couple days after I dropped the car off, and the old manifold is off, the up pipe is on, and the intake pipe is made, and now he's just working on the exhaust housing. A new downpipe has to be made, but now the turbo sits a lot lower since the V-band was cut off. Alright, it's exactly 1 week since we dropped the car off with Jason, and today we are tuning. We were supposed to start at 10, and I'm running a little late, but we got the truck, we got the trailer, now let's boogie. But first, let's get some coffee. So the wastegate is routed back into the exhaust, and the wastegate flange that was on the up pipe had to be angled a little bit because it did hit the motor mount, so that's just something to take note. Finished up with 91, now we're on to E85. This isn't a full tune starting from zero, it's just a retune, so it should be a lot quicker. So quick that by the time that I went outside for a little bit, and then Danny's like, all right, we're done with 91, go get some E85. The yellow numbers is what the car makes now, and yes, I know those numbers are terrible, but I heard a few polls and I am super happy with the car sounds, and that is all I care about.
Nice.
All right, they finished up with 91, now we're on to E85. This isn't a full tune starting from zero, it's just a retune, so it should be a lot quicker. So quick that by the time that I went outside for a little bit, and then Danny's like, all right, we're done with 91, go get some E85. The yellow numbers is what the car makes now, and yes, I know those numbers are terrible, but I heard a few polls and I am super happy with the car sounds, and that is all I care about. Having a little sputtering problems. We think it's the plugs. These are all new ones. These are the old ones. First one had oil in it. This one was super rusted. But we also had oil on the valve cover, so we think that the cap is bad. The gasket on the cap is bad because there was oil up here and there's only oil in this front one. This one was fine and all the rest were fine too. They didn't have any oil. And these are the numbers that we made on E85. Funny enough, this is the numbers that I made on pump gas with my old manifold, and now on 85 I'm making the same amount as 91. Dyno is done. We got our numbers. We're good on 91 and E85. Now we just gotta add this two-step, but I think they're gonna do it outside because apparently it's like really loud and it echoes inside the building way too much. So that's next. Danny's gonna give us some options on which two-step to choose from, so let's see which one sounds the best. Yeah, okay.
I'm talking about that little crush washer looking thing.
Whoop.
Sure, your car.
While Danny was adding two-step, this thing just started pissing power steering fluid, but I don't know where from. Alright, so quick overview of what we did today. Like I said, it was just a retune, not a fresh tune starting from zero, so it was a lot faster than last time. Last time it took like 7 hours total, and today it was maybe like around 4. And the biggest problem that we had, the only problem that we had, actually no, we had 2 problems. One problem related to the tuning process was my spark plugs. They're pretty old and the car started sputtering, so we changed that out and ran beautifully after that. Didn't make much numbers on 91 and on the 85, but whatever. We got the sound that we were looking for. Sounds great. I freaking love it, and that's honestly what I care about. While Danny was adding the two-step, I had power steering fluids leaking everywhere. I don't know where the leak's coming from. We opened up the hood and had him floor it, and we checked like where's it coming out from, but I think it's running too low where it's not spilling out anymore. But I'm kind of glad it happened outside versus inside because I didn't want to dirty up their building floor. Fast forward a couple days after Dyno Day, we tuned on Saturday, and on Sunday the next day I was planning to go to a private event hosted by my friend Robert to do some testing to make sure that everything's working good and there's no hiccups. And as soon as I go out to do my very first lap, I'm going maybe like less than 5 miles an hour, and my diff brakes on me. As I'm pulling up to the entrance of the track, I hear a big clunk and I feel it somewhere in the rear or something. Oh shit, and then my axle break. And so I go out, and me and Andrew, we go look at the car and see, just shake everything, make sure that is it something got loose. And lo and behold, we found out that it was, or we kind of guessed that it was the diff. And I'll show you the noises that it was making and what it was doing. Like I didn't even get a single lap in. I probably drove it like 100 feet from where the trailer was to where it broke. But not to worry, I do have 2 extra diffs that I can maybe use to salvage parts off of. I don't know if I think my ring and pinion is what went bad. I don't know if the internals are okay. It is a 180 VLSD that I've been running for like 10 years, so I'm not surprised that it finally died on me. But I have so much work to do for the car right now to get ready for RAF, so I'm just gonna leave that to Jason and have him inspect it and put it together, because I have an incomplete car and I haven't even started on the Aero. I'm still working on the Mark II. I've been having problems with some of the parts that I got for the ABS delete. Go into detail with that in another video that I made for the ABS delete for that car. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but I'm not defeating and I'm not giving up. I still 100% plan on making it to RAF, no matter what it takes. If I gotta work on this thing till midnight every day, then that's what I gotta do. So that's gonna be it for this video. I appreciate you guys watching, and if you have any questions about the new turbo manifold setup, feel free to ask and comment what you think. Did I mess up? Do you think I should have just left it alone? Did it sound good already? But yeah, thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one.